This week we're doing the ultimate toasted cheese sandwich. Sounds a bit, well, cheese sandwich, but believe me, this tastes great. It really does. You have to go a little bit extra, do a bit more work, but it's fantastic. And to go with that, we're doing a really good homemade tomato soup, so you can get your cheese sandwich, dip it in your soup and shove it in your gob. Anyway, a few ingredients, but follow along and I'll show you how to make it. By the way, if you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps us grow the channel. Thank you. See you in a minute. To go with our grilled cheese sandwich, I'm going to make a lovely homemade creamy tomato soup. Very easy to make, especially if you've got a blender. Now, what blender you've got doesn't matter. I'm using the Thermomix TM6. If you don't have that, just use an ordinary blender with a combination of a saucepan and it makes a lovely soup. So follow along and I'll show you how to do that. Right, let's chop up the garlic. No need to chop it in pieces because it's going in the blender. All I'm doing is just taking the skin off of this. Right, now cut up the onion. This is about 50 grams of onion. Just very simply take the skin off and then cut it into quarters. Next thing I'm going to do is chop up 700 grams of tomatoes to go in. Just cut them in half. Once they're chopped up, we just need 30 grams of butter. Time to put all the ingredients into your blender of choice. I've got a Thermomix. With this, it cooks it at the same time as it blends. If you don't have that option on your blender, when you've done the chopping, put it into a saucepan and finish the process that way. All your vegetables are in there. Now we need to add the rest of the ingredients. We've got some tomato puree going in, some salt, some sugar, some vegetable stock, and then we'll cook those off. Everything's been put in the blender. This is now cooking and blending at the same time. As I said before, if you don't have a blender that cooks, put it into a saucepan, heat it up gently, stirring it occasionally. Right, at the end of your soup making process, if you're using a Thermomix or similar, then you just pop in the last ingredients. If you're using the hob or the saucepan, do exactly the same. And what I'll do now is just add those in. Right, what we're doing is a classic grilled cheese sandwich. Not using a toaster, using a frying pan. What you want to make sure of is that the bread you use is really close grain. You don't want any sourdoughs, anything like that. You need that for your butter to go on. And we're using some cheddar that we grate on. We're using some sliced melted cheddar. We're also using some Emmental and we're also using Gouda. All right, it's a real mixture of cheeses. You melt it all together and it comes out really good. As I said, hard to make a mistake. Follow me and I'll show you how it comes out. First thing we do is butter the bread. Don't skimp on your butter or don't skimp on the quality. You've all seen bread being buttered, but make sure you use enough of it and make sure you cover the slice completely. Right, the bread's buttered, so what we do now is put it into a frying pan. And this is an induction hob and it's on number 5, which is a medium gas. Right, now that this is in here, what we do is we add the cheeses on top of the bread. So first thing I'm going to do is go in with a bit of mature English cheddar. You can use whatever cheeses you like. I mean, you can use something like the Kraft cheese slice, a dairy leaf, as long as it's a gooey, soft cheese. And then we're going to go in with a bit of Gouda on that. And then just to make it an ultimate sandwich, what we do is we're going to add in some grated cheddar on the top of it. This is taking it up to another level because it really gets really cheesy, like my jokes. Make sure when you put your bread into the pan that you put it in butter side down. Little addition, I'm going to put in some Worcester sauce on the top of this. It's up to you what you put in your toasted cheese. A lot of people use tomato, other people put ham in it, but I'm just going to use a bit of Worcester. Okay, we take that out, press it on top, and now we start to really build the sandwich, and we're pressing that down so that the cheese is really beginning to melt. And you can see that lovely colour coming through. Right, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grate some cheese on the outside of the toast. and this becomes all melty, and your toasted cheese sandwich becomes an inside out sandwich. All done. That's the end of the process. That looks amazing. We've got a lovely soup to go with it, and we're going to taste it and see what it's like.
That's it. Go on, mate.
First of all, I'm going in for a bit of soup, and then after that, if it's any good, I'm going to dip the cheese toasty into the soup.
Let's have a go. Hot, hot.
That's nice. It's actually crunchy. It's the little bits of onion have not completely blended in. They're in little tiny bits.
Yeah, chunky. It's like a chunky soup.
Yeah.
It's got that nice homemade flavour to it though.
Yeah, it makes a nice change.
I think it would have been like if we threw a little bit of chilli in it.
Yeah.
A little bit of a kick. But overall that's really nice. If you enjoy like a home cooked soup, you know, something.
I'm looking forward to this. Gonna dip that into there.
Yeah, let's have a go. Super cheesy, like super melted. See what we think.
That's lovely. A really good combination. Got to try this.
Yeah, like Moorish, isn't it? Yeah, it's good, really good. Obviously, we're making this in towards the end of July, but this is a really good like winter warmer soup. You know,
make it yourself. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's not that hard. It sounds difficult, but is it really? It's a toasted cheese sandwich done in a pan.
And for what it's worth, I mean, cooking time with filming, all of it with the soup and the sandwich, it took us an hour.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Go for it. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and we'll see you again for another video soon. Bye.